Welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham and welcome to my show. And today I think I may have just stumbled upon a hidden gem here on YouTube. A diamond in the rough, so to speak, that comes from none other than the pinnacle of the internet. You know, we got CNBC. Obviously that is our holy grail of content right there. But then you have BuzzFeed. And they have a video that they posted over a year ago. I have never seen it before, but why does this look so perfect for me? I mean, this looks like something that should be posted today. And just wait for the title, just listen to this. A money expert reviews Millennials' bank statements. How has no one sent me this before? How have I been the one to find this? I mean, I leave it up to you guys to go and scour the internet for me and then send me all the stuff you want me to watch, but no one sent me this. And geez, it looks so good. So we're gonna be watching this video coming from the perspective of a millennial who's really into personal finance, who's really into investing and saving money. And that's basically how I built my entire career now, is on the aspect of yelling at people for spending too much money. So we're gonna be comparing my reaction to that of a money expert. And I have no idea how she's a money expert or what makes her qualified to yell at millennials like I do. Because you go to the description of the video, there's no shout out to her or anything like that. You have no idea who she is. Even if you go to the cast and crew, there's just, we have no idea who she is, but maybe that's the way boomers want to be. Maybe they want to be like that where you can't find them on the internet. But anyway, let's give this video a shot and see just how bad millennial bank statements are. Let's give this a shot.
Would you be willing to not go out one day an entire month?
Yeah.
No, you would not.
Hold up 1 second. Let's just rewind that for one moment. Just take a look at this guy's eyes.
Not go out one day an entire month.
Yeah.
That's 30 days. We can all make it 30 days without going outside. How do I know? Because I go days sometimes without leaving the house. As sad as that is to say, it's just that I've realized there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there for you to see that you can't get from the comfort of your own home. It makes it so easy and it helps you so much not to spend money. So far I gotta say, I like her philosophy. It's very easy to see how she's a money expert because I bet this is the first time she's left her house in a month.
Hi, I'm Lisa Gould. I'm a financial counselor.
Wait, so first you're a money expert and then you graduate to being a financial therapist and now you're a financial counselor, and then after that, if you master all of that, you become a YouTuber. That's basically the food chain of financial literacy right there. You got YouTuber and then you got money expert. That's how it works.
Financial counselor is somebody who works with people and small businesses on their either personal or business money. It helps them to live the best life that they can based on what they're making or what they could potentially make.
Oh, I like the sound of that, all right. I would love to basically just have my entire career just going and sitting people down and yelling at them and making them feel so much guilt for every dollar that they spend. I would go through a bank statement. I would be ruthless. Every single dollar that they didn't need to spend money on, I would yell at. Like, even going and spending $2 on a soda, I would be like, do you not realize that $2 invested over the next 30 years at a 7% return with dividends reinvested and adjusted for inflation is gonna be worth like $50 in the future? Do you want to give up $50 of future money when you're 100 years old or spend $2 now? Right? I would just be going line by line by line, and by the end of it, they're going to be so fed up with me that they're just not going to want to spend any money because they don't want to deal with what I have to yell at them with. So anyway, so far, I think she's got the dream job out there.
Being a millennial means that you're probably still pretty young and you haven't moved up within either the corporate world or a self-employed business or an artistic venture. You're just maybe not quite there yet.
That's pretty much just a very polite way of saying you have no idea what you're doing and you're not making enough money because you just graduated from college and your parents just kicked you out of the basement because they're tired of you not cleaning up after yourself. But she said it so much better than that.
I recently got out of credit card debt, like really serious credit card debt.
I want to know what her definition is of credit card debt versus serious credit card debt. I think all credit card debt, by the way, for the record, is serious. Whether it's $1,000 or $2,000 or $20,000, any credit card debt that you have should be serious because no one should ever have any credit card debt. You always put money on a credit card and then pay it off in full, no matter what. Credit cards should never be used as a loan for anything because you get charged such outrageous interest rates. I mean, just some of the interest charges alone on these cards, like 20 or 30%, it's insane.
Can I look at your bank statements?
I mean, I guess.
Lifts, streaming service, an airline ticket. Yoga studio, makeup. Mostly everything I'm seeing here is coffee and food. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh no, coffee and food. So far, I gotta say, I really like this money expert a lot. I wanna start doing this. This would be really fun. If you guys think this would be a fun episode where I can have someone come in person and I could yell at them. If you guys want me to see that, click the like button and comment down below with like, yes, Graham, I would like that, or say something like that, or just like other people's comments that say that so I get a read on this. I think this would be a lot of fun. But my problem is that all my viewers, or a lot of them, are already listening to everything I have to say and are doing everything right. So anytime I go and ask for like, hey, if you guys want to call in, if you guys want to be on the show or something like that, it's hard to find people really messing up because that's not my demographic. If people come to my channel in the first place, chances are they're interested in saving money, investing in personal finance, and they're less likely to be making those types of mistakes. So believe it or not, this is not my demographic that is going and making these. So for me, finding these people is actually kind of difficult. But anyway, if you guys like the idea, let me know.
Outside of my bills, where most of my money goes is food, drinks, and Ubers going out. Makes me feel like I'm throwing money away, but at the same time, I'm having fun, so.
Oh man, but the thing is, you are throwing money away. You're just having fun throwing money away. That's the difference. But there are other ways that you could have fun that don't involve you lighting your money on fire or ripping it up and flushing it down the toilet because Anyway, let's keep going.
You're not throwing money away if you have the money to spend and you're mindfully spending it in places that you want to go with people that you want to be with. Throwing it away might be, we're going to hang out and I don't even like them and the food here is crappy and the drinks suck.
I've also done that.
Okay, well, we're not going to do that anymore.
I don't know. I see some of her reasoning behind that, and I kind of get it, but at the same time, I feel like some of that might be a cop-out for saying, like, it's worth it to me to spend all my money because I'm having a great time and these are great experiences, but also I think it's worth it to cut back and be a little bit thrifty if you can, and you can get like most of the time 90% of the same experience by spending half the price, or going out, instead of going to a really expensive place, you go to a cheaper place instead. Instead of going and ordering a big meal, you just order an appetizer because that is 1/3 of the cost. So I don't know. I think even if you have a great time and you enjoy yourself and you can afford it, it's still sometimes a good idea to be a little bit on the thriftier side for the sake of saving money, and that's been at least my philosophy.
I had some unexpected medical things come up, some dental work I had to have done.
There are expenses that come up that we say are unexpected, but the reality is that you're probably not going to live the next 60 years of your life never having a medical bill. You're not in this predicament because you went out and bought clothes and shoes and went out to dinner and took trips. You did that. Okay.
I wish they kept going with that thought here, but she does have a point, okay? We all know that something at some point is going to come up unexpectedly. It's inevitable. So it's always worth it to have an emergency fund. Always have 2 to, let's say, 6 months worth of expenses saved up in cash in a high interest savings account or a CD or something easily accessible that you can pull from in the event something comes up. So I think it's always worth it to plan as though something is going to come up in the next few months or in the next year that is going to cost a few $1,000s. So as long as I have this money sitting away, saved for that moment, then I think you're okay. Except she spent it on clothes and shopping. But anyway.
Put a little bit of money aside every month into what I call a parking lot. The reason I call it a parking lot is because when you are taking money out of quote unquote savings, it's charged. It doesn't feel good. You're like, oh, I was saving that money, and now I have to take it out, and I don't have my money saved anymore. This money is not for saving. This money is meant to be spent, but we don't know when, and we don't know for what.
Look at her using those fancy millennial terms to try to relate to them. We got the parking lot. I've never heard that before.
Like, you could go and park all of your money in the parking lot. Like, instead of parking your Tesla in there, you're gonna park your money in the parking lot. Like,
it's called an emergency fund. It's for emergencies when they come up, and that's what it's for. I've never heard of parking lot before.
What would you do with this money if you could do anything with it? What would you do?
Oh,
You could
lose
spend
out
it.
of
You
my
could
aunt's.
So what should you do with this money? I think you should start building your safety net, and I think you should start building an account so that you can move out. You want things, so list them. Put a dollar amount next to them. One of the things on that list needs to be my own place. Say, this is how much I make, this is what I need to spend monthly, and then you're living a priority-centered life, which is the best way for anybody to live.
But see, if it were me, the first thing I would do is say to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, I know I had to say that, but in all seriousness, the first thing I would do is say, start up a Roth IRA and max that out. And then once you're done maxing that out, or even contribute half, and then the other half you should go and save up in a high yield savings account if you want to move out. But also, I kind of feel like at the same time, if you're having difficulty going and maxing out a Roth IRA right then, maybe you can't afford to move out on your own quite yet. Because if you're thinking, $500 a month, I get that that's a lot. But also you got to consider that rent and other expenses and food and bills and utilities, that's probably at least $1,200 to $1,500 a month right there. So I would first prioritize a Roth IRA and then moving out. And maybe I got that totally backwards, but that is just from my perspective, and I'm sure some people might say that's extreme, but I believe at least in the very beginning of your career while you're young, a Roth IRA is really one of the best things that you could do.
I have my car loan and I have my student loans, and I have enough money to just pay off one, and I don't know if I should pay off my loans or I don't know what I should be doing with my money. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, so yeah, this guy, obviously I would just pay off whatever is the highest interest rate first. That's it. If the auto loan is 6%, the student loans are at 4%, pay off the auto loan. If that's flipped, pay off the student loans, whatever is a higher interest rate. But I'm curious to see what she is going to say.
Do you know what the rate is on
Yeah.
your student loans?
I think it's 4.8.
Okay. And
It's
what's the
less than
interest rate on
6.
your car?
Less than 5.
All right, so we're actually on the same page with this. So the money expert is verified as an expert.
Paying down the student loan might save you overall interest because of the length of the term, not because of the interest rate. But if you've got, 15 years and you've only got like 3 or 4 on your car loan, you're going to pay less interest even though the interest rates are the same. You're going to pay less interest on the car because it's short term. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're going to cut that time in half, then you're going to cut that interest in half as well.
You know what? I actually agree with that, and I totally respect the answer. I think all things considered, though, if you're paying off one loan or another, it doesn't really matter if you're making the extra payments to pay something off sooner. If you're making the minimum payment, then yes, she is 100% correct. But I also feel like if you're just going and trying to wipe these out as soon as possible, it's not going to make too big of a difference there. But overall, you know what? So far, it's decent advice.
I don't think that you're doing as badly as you think. Recognize what you bought.
I think she should just be honest though and be like, yeah, you know what? You are doing terrible. You are doing a horrible job. I am angered by your financial choices, and you got to get out right now. And then as she's walking out, be like, wait, come back. I changed my mind. We're gonna help. Sit down. Let's settle this down. Because you want to bring her to the point where she's just like, oh man, I screwed everything up. I can't recover from this. Get her thinking like that, and then you bring her back and you say, okay, no, you know what? We're gonna work through this. And that way, by the time she sits down again, she's gonna be so thankful. She's like, I'm never gonna spend money on clothes and coffee ever again. And then that is the turning point right there. You'll see it. You see it in someone's eyes when they just have that revelation of just like, I don't need to go and buy coffee at Starbucks anymore. Once you see it, you're never gonna go back.
Your biggest thing, I think, is the weekend spending.
By the way, at the very beginning, I thought this guy was Jarvis Johnson. Don't they look a little bit similar? That's why I originally clicked on the video. I'm like, oh my God, it's Jarvis. That's so cool. But yeah, it's not Jarvis.
If you can spend $50 a week less, you can put an extra $200 into your savings, onto your car payment, or onto your student loan.
See, that's another one I totally agree with her with. I think everybody out there can find a way to cut down $50 a week. That's like, what, $7 a day? We can all go through all of our expenses and realize, like, I don't need this. I don't need that. Maybe you're going out on Saturday and you think what starts out as like just going to a movie is now like a movie and popcorn and a drink and like a little bit of food. And then that's $40 gone right there in one night for like a few hours. I think anybody, even you watching this right now, can go through something and save $50 a week. We all can. We can all start there.
Being aware of how much you spend is a good start. And from here on, I think I'm gonna try to look at my bank account every Monday and take it from there.
I like how he says, I'm going to try to look at my bank account every Monday. It's not I'm gonna do it. It's I'm going to try. And then just see what happens. That's terrible. See, that's the thing I don't like with this, is that obviously I think she didn't make an impact with him. I think whatever she said was decent advice, but it didn't hit strong enough. And that's one of the things that I think is really important when you're trying to speak financial literacy to someone else. You really just gotta smack them in the face with some advice, and just, you gotta give them a little guilt about their spending and make them realize just how bad it is. And then what you could do from there is turn that around, because again, you gotta break something down to build it back up again. It's like making an omelet. You know, you have someone who's an egg and they got a really tough shell. And that's basically them protecting themselves from all advice. So they're impenetrable to advice coming in about don't spend money, don't spend money, don't spend money. That's the equivalent of what she's doing. But what you gotta do is you gotta take the egg and break it. And then you got the yolk and everything mixed in there. And then at that point, you could turn that egg into an omelet. Or you could just turn it into plain scrambled eggs if you add in like a little salt and pepper. That's what you need to do with him, is really make him just like sick with how much he's spending. Because right now, like, I would love to see a follow-up with this, because it's been over a year since this was posted. I guarantee if he did do it, he only checked it for maybe a week or two, and maybe he felt bad afterwards, and then he just realized, like, wait a second, why am I doing this to myself? I'm gonna stop. And then it basically just doesn't go anywhere. And that's been my experience talking to a lot of people on the aspects of saving money and investing. It's very hard to get through to people until you really do something memorable or something extreme, and then at that point, it sticks. Alright, so we just finished this BuzzFeed video, and I have to say, overall, her advice was pretty spot on. I felt like I wanted more detail. Like, I felt like 5 minutes was not enough, and I would rather see 10 minutes going over one person than 5 minutes going over 3 people and just barely scratching the surface. Like, I wanted to see more about where they spent their money on, and like what that dude is going and spending money on every weekend that he could be saving $50 a week extra and not really even realize it. So things like that. Like, I want to know how bad his bank account is that he doesn't even want to look at it until every Monday, and then he'll just see what can happen. And also, if you guys see any more of these gems just sitting around on YouTube that you want my opinion on, you want me to react to it, feel free to send me that as well, or comment it down below. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Feel free to add me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there. And then lastly, if you guys want 2 free stocks, Webull is holding a promotion. They're going to be giving you 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 on their platform. One of those stocks is going to be valued up to $1,400. And the promotion for that $1,400 stock is going to be ending very shortly. So if you guys want that, go and do it now. And if you're watching this a week after it posts, I think they lower it down back to $1,000 or up to $1,000. So anyway, if you want a chance up to $1,400, do it now, and hopefully you get something that's pretty good. So anyway, thank you so much again for watching, and until next time.